Well, howdy do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? So I've got an Andygator from Abita. I also have some West Cork Irish whiskey, West Cork blended Irish whiskey, a blend of the finest hand-selected grain and malt whiskeys, bourbon cask. It is 80 proof. I did a video for both of these products, but I didn't have the website. I wasn't where I could have the website for the Abita. So let me read just a little bit to give you an idea. It is 8%, 25 IBUs. Andygator, a creature of the swamp, is a unique high-gravity brew made with Pilsner malt, German lager yeast, and German pearl hops. Unlike other high-gravity brews, Andygator is fermented to a dry finish with slightly sweet flavor and subtle fruit aroma. Reaching an alcohol strength of 8% by volume, it is a Helles Doppelbock. You might find it goes well with fried foods, or anything made with crawfish. Some like it with a robust sandwich. Andygator is also good as an aperitif and pairs with gorgonzola and creamy blue cheeses. So there you go. The main reason I want to talk about where I got these from. It's a very small store in Aurora, Missouri, called Shiners. Now they do have some craft beers. They have a small selection of whiskeys, but they carry some that I haven't found anywhere else. Well, like this one here, I hadn't seen this whiskey anywhere else, so I picked it up. The Andygator, I have seen in other stores, but it's been close to 11 everywhere I've seen it, and I found it there for under 10. So I figured that was a bargain. It's an interesting little store, though. As I have a take a drink here, I've got a shot and a half poured neat here of that whiskey too, just so you're aware. What's interesting about that store is, again, they do have the craft beers. They do have some nice whiskeys and wines, but they also do a lot of their own food processing in there. They have their own line of beef jerky that they do right there in house. Um, they also make their own sausages, breakfast sausage and summer sausages that I've had before. They are good. It's just an interesting little store. So if you're going to be passing through Aurora, Missouri, look at that place. It's just an interesting, neat little store. And the main reason I bought this whiskey is I asked the owner there about it, and he happened to have some there to sample. He said he really liked it, but he gave me a little sample, and that's what took me over the top. I was leaning towards buying it anyway, but after sampling, it was a foregone conclusion. So I guess my point is, it's not enough just to have one thing or another, or even have products. You have to have customer service. I think it was a store owner anyway. He seemed to know everything, and he was talking about doing the processing. But anyway, it was very friendly, offered samples, and you like dealing with somebody like that. I said when I did the video for the Indicator that I'd had it several years ago, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. It just didn't work for me. And now, after having it again, I can say, well, it's still not my favorite style, but I don't know that there's anything wrong with it either. And I think that's the point that a lot of beer geeks miss, or beer enthusiasts, beer snobs, whatever you choose to call yourself. Just because something doesn't work for you doesn't mean it's a bad beer. You need to be able to recognize flaws as a flaw. Just because the taste doesn't work for you doesn't mean it's a bad or mediocre beer. I do get those subtle fruit aromas that they're talking about. Flavor is very crisp. You do taste some alcohol. Sure, it's like a kind of malt liquor esque, but a much better version because you don't have all that corn and rice to contend with. My camera is going funky on me again, darn it. So I'm trying to get through the video before my camera goes belly up completely. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I keep trying to get it fixed. And I don't know. But anyway, I'll soldier on because that's what I do, man. It's an interesting whiskey. Like most whiskey drinkers, I do prefer Irish or Scotch drinkers. I do prefer a single malt, but there are some blends out there that are decent. This is one of them I'm a fan of. Again, it was less than 25 a bottle. It's very sweet on the nose. A lot of vanilla, bits of toffee. You're going to feel some of that oat. I was also noticing some pear and apple notes. Oh, good gravy. That's good. Yeah, it's just smooth, easy drinking. I've tried it both neat and rocks. I think it works in either direction. Typically blends, most will want to put on rocks or cocktail. This is one that really is fine neat. But at only 20 to 25 a bottle, I'm not going to worry about putting it on the rocks or even using it in a cocktail if I so desire. Oh, there's a lot of great chain liquor stores or local chains. We have a local chain in Springfield, Missouri, called Brown Derby International Wine Center. They are interesting because they have a lot of stuff you're not going to find anywhere else. There's another operation here called Macadoodles that now has two stores in Springfield and one nearby, and then some in outlying areas. And again, they're good for having just a lot of different things as well. But I mentioned that store like Shiners because sometimes it's those small, out of the way places that you don't expect to find a lot that you might find, which you can't find anywhere else. And again, that's where I found this. And again, price wise too. I mean, this is the first place I'd seen the Andygator. I think it was 9.49 for the 6 pack, which was the cheapest that I'd seen it anywhere. I will be honest though, as far as that store is concerned, I mean, they didn't have anything in that store that I hadn't had before, but that really doesn't, yeah, that's not necessarily a knock on them because I've had a lot of stuff, man. But I purchased this because it had been such a long time since I had it. I thought, oh, what the heck? Since his price was better than anybody else, I'm going to buy that and the whiskey, and that'll be my weekend. So there you go. No need to run any longer than that. I just want to tell you about that little store. Want to tell you about the Andygator. Want to tell you about the whiskey. I'm telling a beer whisperer. I'm telling a whiskey whisperer. I'm an oh shoot. I'm a Renaissance man when it comes to alcohol. So there you go. Have a good one, folks.